Solana NFTs are dying. Well, that is the short and quick answer, but why? How has this happened? How are Solana NFTs such a riskier game now than they used to be months ago? Because if you guys are interested in NFTs, you guys know it's risky. There's always a level of risk involved, yet for some reason, the Solana ecosystem recently has become an absolute bloodbath. Now, in today's video, I'm going to dive into how this happened, how we could possibly fix this, and how you guys could look out for yourselves in the future. If you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Let's get right into it, folks. Okay, so the first thing I think people are asking if they're watching this video right now is, what happened? What happened overnight or over the past week that is so dramatically different in the Solana community that makes it such a riskier play nowadays? And I really have two answers for you. The first thing, of course, that I think so many people are going to experience is rug pulls, man. Rug pull galore. There are so many rug pulls on Solana, it is crazy. And I think the reason for this is that it overall is easier to deploy an NFT on Solana than it is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum obviously has a lot of problems with the network getting congested, gas fees, etc., etc., etc. But with Solana, I feel like it has become so easy and so streamlined to deploy a smart contract that happens to give out your project or whatnot. And through that, they can easily just make $500,000 and then abandon the project overnight. I find these rugs to be more common. Of course, there have been issues with Magic Eden and stuff where a certain project will launch and for some reason, some way or another, people will get scammed out of Solana. But what usually happens is you buy an NFT, the NFT ends up being freaking useless because the team just abandons it. A prime example of this is Senshi Samurai. This is perhaps one of the most notoriety. A prime example of this is Senshi Samurai. Now, this is perhaps one of the most notorious Solana projects out there because it got rugged not once, but twice. There was an initial rug pull in which the team ended up purchasing the project back, growing it to a new level, and then, of course, it rugs a second time. So right now, so many people are tweeting all of these horror stories on Twitter about this, and sure enough, if you were to go to Magic Eden and search for Senshi Samurai, it's not even there anymore. So people literally lost thousands upon thousands of dollars on an NFT rug that for every reason looked to be legitimate. In every fathomable way, this project looked as if it was legit from the very start with their staking system and so much more. It looked as if this project was great. I actually mentioned it in a video months ago because of how profitable it was. And if you would have bought it at the time I mentioned it, you would have made like a 3-4x on your investment just by buying it and selling it at the top. Again, the problem is with these sort of rug pulls, you can't predict it. No matter how experienced you are with NFTs, you're always going to encounter one. Now, before we go any further, guys, if you guys are enjoying, make sure to check out my Patreon down below in the description so you guys can see exactly every NFT I buy or sell. You guys also get access to my exclusive NFT watch list, private Discord chats, and so much more. To be honest with you guys, I think it's a steal for only $10 a month. If you guys are enjoying the videos, enjoying the content you guys see over here, truly do think you guys will also enjoy what's on the Patreon, link down below. So again, I was mad at myself at the time for not buying a Senshi like so many other people did, but unfortunately, knowing myself, I probably would have held, hoping it was going to 100 Solana, and then would have been very disappointed to see it rug. Here is another instance, Daku Reapers. I bought one at 14. I mentioned at the time this was very, very risky, but for some reason I had a hunch these guys might do well. As you guys can see, the floor is 1.5 because, you guessed it, they rugged. And it looks like on Twitter, they deleted their Twitter and it's gone. And if you click on Daku Reapers, it does not exist. So no matter how much intuition you use, no matter how much skill you have at identifying NFTs, you still will catch these from time to time. Now, rug pulls like that have put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially the Senshi rug, which was, again, going for a floor of around $3,000 or $4,000, and I imagine a lot of people lost a lot of money on that. Now, there are some staking projects which are still very good, and this ties into my next point, the fact that, unfortunately, the meta for Solana, and if you don't know what the term meta means in this instance, it's the strategy, the winning formula. The meta has shifted. The way to go in the Solana industry right now is to buy projects that have a small supply that have a high ability to stake and earn passive income. Now, there's always been passive income in the NFT industry, but for some reason with Solana recently that has taken off. A great example of a project that I actually love is Sea Shanties. I bought one of these around a month ago at a floor of 9, so we're at basically what I bought it at, not up or down very much, but I've made around $200-300 in passive income just from holding my shanties. So definitely definitely can't complain about that. I do believe in a project like this very much long term. But the problem is, looking at sea shanties versus Senshi Samurai, there wasn't all that much difference. The only difference I can see is that sea shanties is not a rug and Senshi Samurai was. So again, the meta right now has shifted into staking projects. And this isn't all a bad thing, actually, because staking, when it comes down to it, is pretty cool. You are locking away your NFT on a certain platform and receiving some level of passive income for this. Now, I don't believe that Bored Ape Yacht Club right now has any staking system available, but if they did, I bet you it would go for a fortune, and the token, which they are releasing, the Bored Ape Yacht Club token, will probably go for a lot as well, because that is something that people will buy into if they cannot afford a Bored Ape Yacht Club, which, let's be honest, most people can't. So you could buy into the currency that represents the Bored Ape Yacht Club, if that makes sense, and I do believe that that would probably be successful in the future. So when you have all these Solana projects, yes, you very well could establish something that is very successful, always commands a high floor price, and always makes great passive income with staking if they are able to get the community and overall stature of a successful grounded project. The problem is that every project wants to do that nowadays, and you're not dumb if you buy into that, because it's really a smart, good thing to do. It is nice to have a staking project that rewards people. It is nice to have a low supply. None of these things are bad, and therefore I would never shun a project, even that approached me and said, hey Matt, you want to talk about my project? You know, I have a low supply, a staking system, because ultimately that's a great idea. Who doesn't love that? The problem is, again, those are just so common. So let's say we have an example here. Let's take a look together, shall we? So let's say we wanted to come up with a project. I've named this arbitrary project Solana Pencils. This could be 777 deflationary pencils, gives you access to the Scribble DAO, we'll call it that, weekly Q&As, giveaways, community growth, all of that, and you could stake to earn 50 pencil token per day. This is literally what every Solana project looks like. I came up with this in 30 seconds, but this is basically what every Solana project out there actually looks like. And again, that feels like a bit of a problem. Not anything wrong with only a supply of 777. Not that there's anything wrong with earning 50 pencil token per day in our project here. Nothing wrong with any of this. The problem is there are so many projects trying to do the exact same thing. And on top of that, again, once you couple that with the inevitable rug pull which you're going to encounter, like Senshi Samurai, makes it very, very tough to invest in Solana NFTs nowadays. So that brings up the inevitable question, what should I buy? If I'm a Solana NFT investor, what do I purchase right now to protect my money and grow my money as best possible? To be honest with you, I think there is only one guarantee, and the only guarantee is that you have to put in what you can afford to lose. I know people say that all the time. I'm not a financial advisor, but please don't put in more money than you can actually afford to lose. But let's say you want to go with that. You're willing to take the risk of entering the NFT industry. Well, I think the best thing you do is have a nice wide spread. I think the best thing is to get involved in some of these virtual worlds. Lux Real Estate is one of my biggest holds right now. I plan on holding this. I do not plan on selling it because I like what they are doing. I also hold Enviro. It is literally a cross-chain virtual world system. I mean, it's pretty awesome. But there's a bunch on here. All of these virtual worlds, I would say out of the ones that they have available, 2 to 3 of these will end up sticking around in the long term. So if you are diversified enough, I would say this is definitely a good idea. Now, on top of that, you could also get into some of those, maybe some blue chip projects that are very high in terms of market cap. Any very high blue chip project is probably considered a good idea. I don't have any of these right now, but if you could snag one of these, I would say you are probably off to a good start. And on top of that, you know, stay involved with new mints. Take a look at upcoming launches. Again, on this channel, I do show you guys a lot of projects that I do like. And again, you definitely can invest in projects that have a small supply, that have some level of staking, and fit the cliche I mentioned earlier, because ultimately, there is nothing wrong with that cliche. There's nothing inherently bad about a project with a low supply and some level of staking. But again, do your research, be careful, don't overexpend your money, and overall, having a nice, diverse split of NFTs right now is probably more important than ever. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly do hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to check out the Patreon again down below in the description if you guys like to learn more from me. Always appreciate that over there. Thank you guys so much. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.